and kind of the lay of the land.
Yeah, that's correct. Johnny Cause posted on Twitter last night that they are opening 4 locations in Westport. And if you know, they already have 2 locations in Westport right now. One was opened in 2016, and another location, the Yard Bar, was opened earlier this year. And so this will be a total of 6 locations for Johnny Cause, even though they're not going to be the same type of bar or certain situation. One is kind of an event space that Johnny Cause ownership will have. And so I kind of wrote them down, so I got it all correct here. The 4 locations that they posted on Twitter that they're going to open. One is going to be called Jonathan's Lounge Cocktail Bar, and that's going to be opening at 421 Westport Road, and they say it's going to open up in the spring. And then the Westport Event Space, which seemingly doesn't seem like it's going to be a bar, just kind of an open space where people can rent out maybe things for weddings and whatnot, and that's going to be at 427 Westport Road, and they say that's going to open up in February, so pretty shortly here. And then another location, the Shot Shop in Westport, they say that's going to open up in the spring at 4120 Pennsylvania. And then the last location that they posted is going to be the Bomb Bar Westport, and that's at 4050 Pennsylvania, and that's opening up in the summer. And if you look at that address, you look at 4050, and that's the same address as the Char Bar. And they wanted to make the clarification that they are not taking over the Char Bar, that location has a lot of different kind of subsections that you can open up different businesses in. And so this will be kind of connected to the other Johnny Cause location, just in a different area, kind of on 4050 Pennsylvania. So they wanted to make that clarification that they're not taking over the Char Bar. The Char Bar, as far as they know, is still going to be around. They just wanted to set that clarification.
They said some positive things about the owners of Char Bar. Right?
Oh yeah, they hope that they stay around. They mentioned on Twitter, and that they survive Westport.
Johnny Cause has had a footprint in Aggieville. For those outside the area, that's the kind of bar and entertainment district in Manhattan, Kansas, for all the K-State Wildcats out there. They've kind of pursued, Nick, in your research, a similar strategy there?
Yeah, on their website, they kind of posted kind of the history of Johnny Cause and how it all got started. And they opened up the first location in 2007 in Manhattan, Kansas, called Tank's Tavern. And then these names will maybe sound familiar with what I just kind of said not too long ago. Back in 2009, they opened up Shot Stop, 2010 Bomb Bar, 2011 the Johnny Cause location. And that's all in Aggieville there in Manhattan, Kansas. So if you can look at the parallels a little bit in terms of what they kind of did in Manhattan, Kansas, a few years ago, and then some of the location names that you can kind of see here opening up, Shot Stop, and Bomb Bar. So those names obviously sound familiar with what they're opening up here in Westport. So kind of a different parallel you can kind of see going on with Westport and Manhattan, Kansas.
The social media reaction has been negative, to put it mildly. Lots of people saying we don't need more of Johnny Cause style of bars, that they don't want one person, one ownership group, kind of taking over Westport. Although, as you do the research of the story, that's kind of what we've had before with Beer KC. I mean, they basically had 3 of the 4 corners of an intersection in Westport, and so it's changing of the guard from one group maybe having lots of control to just another group having lots of control. Is that kind of your read?
Yeah, just looking at some of the reaction on Twitter, I mean, some of it has been, negative, saying that, it's going to be Westport should be changing the name to Johnny's Port or different things, because now Johnny Cause is going to be owning a lot of different retail in Westport. But, this is capitalism, and if there's nothing stopping them from doing something like this, and if there's an open space that is out there and they want to take it over, they have all the rights to do that. Some have commented on Twitter about some of the, Westport just changing to becoming a heavily bar district, and they're not, focusing on other things like restaurants and other things like this. But, 2 of the 4 locations that they have out here, one is an event space, so that doesn't seem like it's going to be an active bar. And the other location says Lounge Cocktail Bar, so it seems like it's going to be a little bit more of an upscale thing than you see at the Yard Bar with, some of the games that they have in there with cornhole and some other things that they have there.
So you're reporting on the story today for 41 Action News. I think one of the interesting things that people are talking about on social media as well is some of the kind of more independent establishments on Westport. You have Sava, which is kind of a nice little champagne bar. You have Port Fonda, great place for a whole bunch of different things. And then one of the interesting restaurants, Californo's, in Westport. It's interesting to see how they view this changing of the guard, knowing that they've kind of built up a nice little client base in Westport.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to head out there and talk to some people who go out there. Obviously, Westport's also a place not just for the locals, it's for the people who visit Kansas City. I know being out there many other times, a lot of people will come up to, this is their first time in Westport, or they're visiting just to kind of get the vibe. So a lot of people don't know what Westport was or is. And so, yeah, we're going to be talking to, some people out there and try to get some business reaction as well to see, kind of what you kind of mentioned, changing of the guard. McCoy is a very big staple there, kind of going away, and, Sailor Jacks as well. Johnny Cause is not taking over those locations. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, do we know what beer case he's going to do with McCoy's and Sailor Jacks?
They have not come out to say exactly what's going to happen with those spots quite yet, but it should be interesting because McCoy's is right there in that corner. It's a very popular place where people will go by. So we'll kind of see what takes over that place or what ownership group takes it over. Obviously, from Johnny Cause perspective, they're not taking over those locations, so I don't know who may come up there and buy it.
Maybe it's an opportunity, you and I, throw in, maybe a couple $100, get a little investor group going and have a little outdoor podcast studio on that patio.
You think it'll just take a couple $100 for that?
Well, it'd be part of an ownership group, right? We may have to sell some shares.
Pool money of different people.
Of maybe several hundred people if we're all doing that level. Or
sure, we'll find some other people out there.